This week on OSRL,
we make tremendous progress on the construction of our earthbag wall, despite a shrinking water supply. And we install automatic vent openers for our greenhouse that require no electricity.
How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the Domestead. Now, if you're new here, my wife and I were building our own home off-grid here in the Arizona desert. But if you caught our last video, you know we're building a giant earthbag wall on the east side of our house. We got 2 courses done despite the incredible winds that we got. We muscled through, but we got them done. Very exciting. Now, those winds brought in some cold temperatures, so some of these mornings have been really cool. So we're going to enjoy these cooler days while we have them, but it's about to heat up real quick. So wish us luck. We're trying to knock out maybe 3 courses this week. I don't know if we can do it. Wish us luck. We're going to give it our best. All right, let's get to building, y'all. Well, I'm really excited because in our last video, I said I'd be installing these. Now, I appreciate your guesses that you left in that video. Now, but these are automatic window openers for greenhouses. They sent us 9 of these things for free, and we're going to test these out to see how well they work. So we're not being paid to give a review, but we did get these for free to try them out and to let you guys know how well they work. So I'm going to be installing these. I'm going to be showing you everything that comes with it. And yeah, we'll see. We'll find out together how well these things work. I'm really excited to try it out. All right, let's get to putting these on. All right, so let's open up one of these boxes and let's check out what's inside. Okay, everything's nicely wrapped. All right, you got the temperature gauge right here, window opener, installation instructions, and the hardware. So everything's included. It looks like they include everything for if you're installing these on like wood frames or if you have a metal greenhouse. Looks like they have stuff for that too. So whether you're using metal frames or wood frames, you'll be able to attach these. All right, so let's put this together and let's get it installed. So you can see right here, these windows right now, they're just kind of flapping. So we'll need to kind of get these window openers installed in order to keep these situated. First thing I'm going to do is just kind of line up these pieces right here so I can stick the gauge in. This probably needs to go down a bit further. I probably need to cool this off. It's been sitting outside, so it might be a little warm. And it might be a little extended because of that. All right, so I'm going to insert this into the opener. Okay, now you just want to put it in so that the holes line up right along here. And then you toss your pin in. Now we'll just get this attached. Should be fairly straightforward. All right, we're going to do the same for the top here. All right, and that's it. Super easy to install. Now I just got to keep going down the line and get the rest of these 8 installed. All right, good morning. Now, unbeknownst to me, they actually sent us a different model of opener. It kind of threw me a little bit, but it's okay. They're free, so I'll just roll with it. And there are some differences between these ones and the other ones, and I'll go through them. So this one kind of threaded through the bottom and then into the tube. In some ways, this one is a little easier to install. In some ways, it's more difficult, but I'll go through it and what I like and dislike about both of them. You thread that piece in there much like the other one, and then the pin Goes right in between the holes. Make sure to line up the hole from the gauge into the opener. So one difference is these little plates on the side. I'll show you on the other one, but these ones, the other ones are a little bit more solid. These ones have two separate moving flaps, which makes it a little more difficult, but not too bad. I'm pretty impressed with the openers. So again, we did get those for free. We weren't paid to do any kind of reviews. We installed them, and we're just here to tell you whether they work or not, and they seem to be doing a really good job. But I mean, you're satisfied, right?
Yeah, it seems like they're doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, opening and closing, right?
Yeah.
You specifically wanted openers. You were like, we are definitely getting automatic vent openers. This is what I need. Make it happen. And I did. Maybe you want to explain exactly why you were so adamant?
I knew that I wasn't going to be running around checking temperatures in the greenhouse all day and making sure there was ventilation, and it's just a lot to do and to think of, and we got a lot of other things going on too, so it would just simplify things a lot.
Anytime you can automate processes, and probably no matter what you're doing, probably better. But especially with a greenhouse or anything like that, or it takes a lot of time out of your day. If you can get those processes working where you don't even have to worry about it, I mean that's the best way, really.
How do you feel about them?
I liked it. Very easy to install and simple to set up. I like it.
It's kind of interesting how these openers work because it doesn't require any electricity. So this is very simple. It has this cylinder inside is, I think it's some type of mineral wax. When the temperature goes up, the wax expands, it pushes like a piston up, and that's what pushes the window open. And then conversely, when the temperature goes down, the wax cools and shrinks, and then it closes. There's a way you can adjust what temperature you want it opening at.
And it's just a matter of turning the piston, the cylinder. We'll leave links down below if you want those particular openers. At least you know that these ones work versus if you're going to try another brand.
So apparently April is Autism Acceptance Month. And I just wanted to say a few things and also give an update about my own diagnosis. For the past year or two, I've been suspecting that I might be autistic. And so I decided to get tested so that I can either rule out autism or get a formal diagnosis. So I've been in the middle of that whole process for a while now. I've already finished an initial assessment which determined that there was a likelihood for autism and it warranted further testing. And now I've just finished a whole another round of extensive testing. And right now I'm waiting to have a final appointment with a doctor before I get like a final diagnosis. So I wanted to go through this whole diagnostic process so that I can get a better insight into my own mind. As I've been going through the whole testing process, I've already learned a lot about myself, how I think, my various strengths and weaknesses, and I'm hoping that this will not only help improve my quality of life, but maybe help me better share my unique gifts with others.
Okay, so we are back out here and we are ready to do course number 9?
Yes.
Course number 9. Number 9 is so fine, which is exciting. Now, if you caught our last video, you know we already got the barbed wire in place, so we just have to start laying bags. We're going to try and get to 11 this week. 9, 10, 11. I don't know if we can do it, but we're going to give it a try. You know, the walls are getting a lot taller, so that means if Jessica's getting her own dirt, it's a much more difficult process. So we got to figure some things out. I got to talk about it a little bit later, but we are running low on water, so that could be an issue as well. And when I say that, I don't mean the water that we use to live on, but our ancillary IBC totes. So we're not in danger of like being completely waterless, but the water that I get to mix the dirt, that's getting very low. So we got to figure something out on that end as well. But without further ado, let's get to bagging. My head's higher than the roof, Jess. Alright, post lunch, and we're already hard at it. I got dirt ready to go. Jess is already filling bags. We're on our way to finishing up course number 9. Just a little bit left to do. And it's just after lunch. It's kind of crazy. What do you think? Is it crazy? How crazy?
5.
It's 5 crazy. It's 5 loco, yo. All right, just a few more bags left.
Excuse me. Wanna feed the birds? Feed the birds? Come on.
Let's go feed them birds. Come on. One-handed. Oh. She heard that. Just is using up the last little bit of our last roll of barbed wire. Because I mean, why not, right? Did that little bit of wire get you through this whole section of wall? That's That's really impressive.
And then some. I'd like to talk about what autism is. I only recently learned this stuff myself, and I'm no expert, so this is just my understanding of it as a layperson. Now, I grew up in the 1980s and 90s, and not too much was known about autism back then. Most of what I was aware of about autism for a long time mostly came from the movie Rain Man with Tom Cruise and Dustin Hoffman. And I suspect that might have been true for a lot of people back then as well. So I had this kind of vague idea that autism was something that affected boys and it made it so that they couldn't speak, or that it was this thing that created people who were genius in one particular area, but they were otherwise kind of mentally handicapped. Now, when I began suspecting that I'm autistic, I started doing a lot of reading and research about autism, and I got a much better understanding of what it is.
Now yesterday just worked until the sunset. She got all the barbed wire done. I was working as well, got all the dirt ready to go, and we're ready to do another course. But there's something I want to do beforehand, before we get started. Let me show you what's going on. She always gets excited when the birds fly off. So we are low on water. Just about all of our IBC totes, our ancillary water sources, are real low on water. This is where I usually get the water for when we're doing bags, and it is below 100 gallons between the two totes, so it's very slow coming out, and I do want to save some of this water in these totes for the compost. So unfortunately, this means we are just down to the water in our poly tanks, and we still have quite a bit of water in there. I'm not too worried about that. We probably got over 3,200 gallons in there, so quite a bit of water still. I'm going to pump some of this water into this IBC tote over here by the shed. I'm going to fill this up. It'll be a lot closer to where we're doing the bags, and it'll be easier to get the water from. So that's what I'm going to do right now, and just to get ready for filling the bags today. And we should be set to do another course. All right, you can probably hear the pump going. We're getting water into the IBC tote now. Probably put about 125 gallons in or so. That might get us through most of the build, but if I need to, I'll just pump more water in here again, and we should be good to go. And that'll leave a little bit of water in those IBC totes by the hacienda for all of our composting needs. Okay, so I'd estimate we got about 140 or so gallons in that IBC tote, which should last us for maybe about 4 courses or so. And Jess is out here now, and we are about to start with bags. Whoa, you're really up there. Now, Jess hasn't gotten much sleep. You didn't get much sleep last night, right? So today might be a little bit more difficult than yesterday, but we're going to push on through, and we're going to try and get this done. Course number 10. All right, halfway done with course 10. Yuvia knows how to beat the heat. Curled up on that cushion over there, looking adorable. Oh, what a sweet angel. All right, it's post-lunch. We're back out here. Just is already filling bags, and I am right in the middle of prepping dirt. So I still have... sorry, I just noticed an angel above my shoulder. Where was I? So I still got to finish doing dirt. All the bags are tamped, and we're just about to put the clothes on course number 10, right? Double digits. Ooh! Last bag. All the bags for course 10 is laid. I just gotta tamp it and we are done with this course. Of course, we still got more stuff to do. We'll probably lay barbed wire today. Right? Lay barbed wire today. I'll prep dirt for tomorrow, but we are moving on up. Ready to get course number 11 done, possibly. I don't want to say for sure because you never know what could come up, but all signs are go.
So what actually is autism? There is a book that lays out all the criteria for diagnosing different mental conditions, and it's called the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, or the DSM. According to the current version, which was published in 2013, autism is a type of neurodevelopmental disorder, which means that it is something that develops in early childhood and creates differences in brain processes, which can impair functioning in different areas of life. If you've heard the term Asperger's before, that actually comes from previous versions of the DSM, where Asperger's disorder, as well as autistic disorder, were listed as subtypes of pervasive developmental disorders. In the current version, there's actually no Asperger's disorder anymore, as it was recognized that it was just kind of describing some of the symptoms of a larger, more complex condition, which is now called autism spectrum disorder. The current criteria for an autism diagnosis involves two main areas. One is persistent deficits in social communication and social interaction. The other is restricted, repetitive patterns of behavior, interests, or activities. And these symptoms have to be present from an early age and cause significant impairment in current functioning. In addition to these signs and symptoms, different levels of autism are laid out, ranging from level 1 to 3. And these are according to the amount of support that is required.
Good morning. So we are back at it. We're going to try and get another course done. That's incredible. 11 courses. That's fantastic. We're getting to the top, y'all. How are you feeling? You excited? Can't wait for this course to be over, hey? All right. Well, sooner we start, sooner we'll be done. We are done with the middle section. It means we're over halfway done with course number 11. We're stopping right here. Lunch is about an hour away. That'll give me some time to tamp this middle section as well as prepare more dirt for the rest of the course. So we'll be back at it again after lunch and knock the rest of this out.
So if you know someone who's autistic, or you just want to be more supportive of autistic people in general, what are some things you should know? 1, autism is a spectrum. Thinking about autism like a color spectrum was helpful to me in understanding this. Just like a rainbow has different colors, autism has different characteristics associated with it. Different colors can vary from light to dark and from bright to dull. Autism traits can vary in intensity, and they can also vary in the specific ways that they manifest. So this means that every individual is different. So it's really best not to make any assumptions about them. I think it's important to acknowledge the challenges that autistic people face. So definitely be cautious about saying things like, well, everybody's a little bit autistic, or autism is a superpower, because aside from those things not being quite accurate, it also can seem like you're minimizing those challenges, which these people sometimes really struggle with and they have to face every single day. Now, on the other hand, I don't think we should believe that autistic people are weaker or less valuable than anyone else. I believe that everyone has inherent value, and thinking differently can be incredibly valuable to society. Also, if it's possible, listen to what autistic people have to say about what it is that they want and need, instead of assuming what's best for them. It's also really important to find ways to support parents of autistic people and other caregivers, because they also are facing some real challenges in supporting the autistic people that they care about. And finally, it can be really helpful if you educate yourself more about autism. So I'm going to recommend some resources that I personally found helpful. Some people on social media that I found helpful were I'm Autistic, Now What?, Audicate with Chris and Debbie, Kaylin Partlow, Orion Kelly, That Autistic Guy, and a really interesting podcast if you're into paranormal things or psi abilities, spiritual gifts, and that sort of thing. The telepathy tapes is something you're going to really enjoy. Season 1 focuses on autistic children with a condition called apraxia, and they have some really remarkable abilities. Some websites with great information are Autism Understood, Neuroclastic, Embrace Autism, and Neurodivergent Insights. And some books I would recommend include Asperger's Children by Edith Schaeffer. This goes into some of the history behind autism and some of the more disturbing aspects of that. There's a book called Autism and Everyday Executive Function by Paula Moraine, a really great resource for autistic people or parents and caregivers of autistic people, with helping them develop more executive function skills. A book called Unmasking Autism by Devin Price, which shares some great firsthand experience and deals with social masking in adults particularly. And finally, the book Neurotribes by Steve Silberman, which really offers a different way of looking at autism and defining it and just our perspective on it. And I think it's a really worthwhile thing to consider.
3 courses done this week. It's crazy. 11 courses. So I'm estimating we might need to do what I say, 6? Possibly 6 more courses, which would bring us up to 17. Just a little off from my original projection of 14 courses, but that's how it is sometimes. I think we're getting, would you call this the home stretch maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's feeling it. The wall is getting tall. I like that. All right, y'all. Thanks so much for joining us. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up for building giant earth bag walls. And we'll catch you in the next video. Bye. That one chicken's getting it right from the source, huh?